Hello there and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends, and happy raid day as the Siege of Olympus lands to DSA today, this morning. I could not be more hyped. Again, if you go look at a fast pass that I made a long time ago, I mean, that's everything we would want into a game mode right there. This was a dream of mine to have this within the game, and I just can't believe it's finally here. On today's video, we're going to go over the basics on the Siege of Olympus and your preparation to get you and your club best prepared to take on the Hercules Titans. Again, I want to remind you guys, there's a lot we don't know until we get our hands and feet wet and actually go into the raid ourselves. But there's a lot of information that we can prep, and a lot of data and time has been dedicated to try to help you guys get the best chance of survival. I mean, the last thing you want to do is go in there with your best characters thinking you're amazing, and then you just get, one-shotted. Again, my goal all week is to be analyzing tons of raid footage. I've got a Discord made for it, and I'm going to be analyzing other people's matches as well as my own, trying to find you guys the best free-to-play characters as well as just the best characters in general to be using against each and every Titan. With all that being said as well, I'll be making a step-by-step guide for each and every Titan. We're going to make an Ice Titan guide, a Tornado Titan guide, and really get footage to back up all the abilities and things that we see. And we're also going to include recommended characters within those because a lot to chew on and a lot of information to process. You don't want to try to do it all by yourself and try to look at all the Titans as a whole. You want to focus on one Titan at a time and really learn on how to take him on with your club and what are the best chances of survival. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a lot of attempts myself. And in addition, we'll be analyzing other people's attempts to try to understand it the best we can. So stop on by the Twitch stream if you guys want to follow me there. And then, of course, we've got the question of the day, and that's going to be, which character, let's say 3 months from now, are we going to say is the best, most essential part of the Siege on Olympus raid? Siege on Olympus, we can't really acronym it like so. So doesn't work. Does it? No. Alrighty, Cozy Club, well, welcome in. I'm absolutely excited to start today's basic guide to the Titans in the raid on Olympus. Again, we're going to be starting out with the essentials and everything you need to know about the basics of the Titans. All the abilities and details will be in these specific Titan guides. Then we'll move to the priority kill order of each and every Titan, and then look at some crucial abilities or different things that you should look for in your roster when taking in your team for the very first time. Alrighty, Cozy Club, let's get to the Titan basics. Now, with each and every Titan, you want to ensure you have different helpful effects, debuffs towards them, and different elements within DSA to ensure you've got the best chance for survival and your best chance to do the most damage towards the Titans. Now, as for the Rock Titan, you can see you want plenty of protection and taunting for your team so that you don't get hit with the powerful ability from the Rock Titan Crag Press. And you want to make sure you have defense down so that you don't end up with shaken and unable to do any harmful effects like turn meter down or anything else that's essential to take down the Rock Titan. You want plenty of cleansing because if you do get hit with that Crag Press or any other harmful effects, you want to quickly and swiftly get rid of them. Now, as for the Tornado Titan, you want to ensure you have plenty of summonable units out on the field. That goes for Gumbo Pop, Proxima, Jolly, Raja, whatever that might be, and whoever you might have. People like Davy Jones might end up the MVP versus the Tornado Titan, because if you don't have summonable units out there, he's going to power up his Twisters, and they're going to swiftly take you down. If we had to guess, again, we don't know, but we have a good shot, most likely. Now, Silence and some of those other powerful debuffs like Sleep and Polymorph are going to one-shot these Twisters. And at the moment before we go in there, we don't quite know if the Twisters can die to damage, if they can only die to the silence. We're going to have to see how that works out. But altogether, you want to ensure that you've got those AoE silence, those characters that can put out silence. Again, Davy Jones is a great example. Honey Lemon with Tactics. You've got Darkwing Duck. You've got obviously the newly buffed Oogie Boogie and Queen of Hearts. As for the Lava Titan, there's plenty of things that go wrong. If you can pump slow out on him, you're going to be really holding him back from his true potential. He's going to be the glut of this phase, and the bonus damage for continuous damage will be raining on your team with Scalding, a new debuff, if you don't have slow on him. But there's going to be plenty of harmful effects while going against the Lava Titan, so cleansing and healing is going to be very essential, probably most against him, to get rid of all those harmful effects. And if you've got some great helpful effects, it's going to prevent some great bonus damage from the Titan as well. Lastly, we have the Ice Titan, who could be the hardest Titan of all of them, especially if you go after him before you take down the Lava Titan. We're going to get to priority here in a second, but again, cleansing, AoEs, silence, and sleeps, just like that Twister Titan as well. You want to ensure that you take him down because he's going to punish you with the ice spikes and his other summonable units to go after your own team. Now, one basic principle that you need to know when facing these Titans is pretty simple. Each and every Titan that lives is going to provide some type of bonus to the other Titans. And when you take a Titan down, it's going to empower and make other Titans a whole lot better. Let's quickly go through the list of what happens if you leave a Titan alive and what happens when the other Titans die. Starting with the Rock Titan, the Fortitude of the Earth. While the Rock Titan is alive, the Titans, every other one, is going to have greatly increased tenacity. Now, what that means is it makes it really hard to land harmful effects, and because you cannot land harmful effects on the Titans, it's going to make it way hard to reduce their turn meter and honestly just leaning towards a quicker death for your team. Now, on top of that, the harmful effects that the Ice Titan and some of the other Titans will pump out will stick a whole lot easier, like the continuous damage from the Lava Titan, because you will as well have greatly reduced tenacity, which again, tenacity is that ability to get stuck of a harmful effect. Now, it says you want to bring taunt, defense up, crit immunity. Of course, we want to go through all of that, and we will once we go through the Titan by Titan guide. Now, in turn, if the other Titans die and you're going after this Rock Titan, the Rock Titan is going to get way more offense, and in addition, he's going to take a lot less damage. So again, we're going to go through each and every one, but through the Shadow ability, if you go to the ability list here, which again, we'll have a Titan guide, but if you go here, you can see exactly what happens when other Titans die and how it powers up the Titan himself. Next up, the Tornado Titan with the Force of Wind. The effect of haste is greatly reduced for all players, and the effects of slow is greatly reduced on Titans. This is a massive one. This is a huge one. And this is making a lot of people wanting to go after the Tornado Titan first, which I'm going to recommend against, and we'll get to that here in a moment. Now, there is also going to be a chance, this is a scary one here, that essentially all of your speed meter gain will be prevented for your team. This is a really powerful Titan, guys. And if you kill other Titans, the Tornado Titan here is be gaining more offense, and in turn, he'll be having speed turn meter at the start of the battle. The Tornado Titan is definitely one to fear. Next up is the Ice Titan with the lethality of the ice. Now, Titans are going to have greatly increased critical chance when attacking players affected with harmful effects. This one doesn't seem as bad, but if other Titans die while going after the Ice Titan, this bad boy gets increased offense, potency, and precision. Everything you don't want him to get, he's going to grab that from other Titans dying. The Ice Titan is going to be absolutely brutal, and he's just going to be kind of a throw the kitchen sink at him, as you're going to want to take him down last if you get the choice, which again, we'll get to here in a moment. Lastly, we have the Lava Titan with the Ire of Fire. Definitely saying that word wrong, probably. But the Titans have a chance to inflict continuous damage whenever they deal damage to players. Now, again, this is going to be a very vital one to make sure you take down, because these two mixing, the ice and the fire, are going to be rough if you keep one alive before the other. So make sure you pay attention to the Titan priority here in a moment. And with the Lava Titan, he's just going to get extra offense as each and every other Titan dies before him. That brings us to the Titan kill order. Now, you're going to want to take out these Titans in a specific order. And unlike other raids, you're going to have the ability to take out these Titans in any order that you would like. And these are going to be the orders that I suggest. And I'm going to lean that we don't know quite yet. We're still figuring that out. But I would put a big bonus bucks on the top order being the one that you and your club want to run. You don't want to just click a random Titan, cross your fingers, and hope for the freaking best. You want to take these out strategically to avoid the bonuses going to the other Titans. So with all that being said, I recommend going after the Rock Titan first, and we'll get into that primarily why in a moment, followed by the Tornado Wind Titan, and then going from the Lava, and lastly finishing with the Ice Titan. Now, I see a lot of people wanting to take the Tornado Titan down first because of all the turn meter and the effects of haste and slow, and let me dip into why I don't think that's probably the best idea. Now, yes, none of the negative effects are fun, and tenacity seems harmless, but if you look at the bonuses and you look how these guys are kind of written out, you guys can look at these orderings, and it kind of looks like this is the order we should go in, mainly because each and every Titan requires successful application of harmful effects. Now, if you take a look at the Rock Titan or the Earth Titan, he's more on the helpful effect side, the taunts and the defense up. Now, that kind of shows us that you can always, manipulate harmful effects, and if they have tenacity, you're not going to be able to lay those harmful effects down. But helpful effects, on the other hand, you can apply those as much as you want to your side of things, giving yourself a better chance. And this is really telling me that the Rock Titan should be handled first. Then you go to the Tornado Titan, and then you definitely want to take down the Lava Titan before the Ice Titan. Now, regardless, once we all get to Heroic one day, whether you guys are far from that or close to it, you're going to have to take all these Titans down in a specific order last to unlock the Heroic raid and give yourself the best chance for the Zeus shards. Now, I'll be honest, I have no idea how we're going to take out some of these last because they seem extremely hard, like having the Tornado Titan alive the entire time. It's going to be rough. Now, for the heavy damage dealers, we're primarily looking at the Lava and the Ice Titan. They're going to be dealing the most damage, kind of like the gluts of the first raid, and that leads us to the Fire Titan. Now, why we want to get rid of the Fire Titan before the Ice Titan is, like I said before, those continuous damage and all those harmful effects. If you have that going against the Ice Titan, you're going to be in for a rough time. If you look at his passives and how he's built, it's just not going to be a fun time going against him with the Lava one alive and having the continuous damage out there as well. Now, you're going to need slows to put on the Lava Titan, and again, keep in mind, the effects of slows are greatly reduced because of the Tornado Titan. So that has me led to believe that the Rock, followed by Tornado, and then Lava to Ice is going to be the preferred order. We're going to see a lot of people test out the Tornado Titan, and only time in testing will tell if this is the order we're supposed to do it in. Alrighty, now that we've finished kind of the essentials of the Titans in the big details, your head should be spinning, because if it is, you're pretty much in line with everybody else, as it's a lot of information to digest. Now, I want to take this video into a different direction and start talking about some of the essential and crucial critical abilities that you want to ensure that you and your team have really before you go into the Titan fights. Now, we don't know the best teams. We barely know the best characters to take in because there's been zero testing because it hasn't come out yet. But there are abilities and things that you want to look out for so that you give yourself the best chance going in against these things. Now, just looking at how the Rock Titan is built, you want to ensure that you have taunts and protects and defense up, or else you're going to be getting hit with Shaken and a ton of damage. Now, right off the bat, guys, Prince Eric does an AoE defense up. Violet does a lot of defense up as well. Gaston, Simba, even Honeylivin, Ana, Baymax, and more can put defense up to your entire team. In addition to that, we're going to be listing some taunters that you might need, and because he's very tenacity based against the Rock Titan, having fear might not be a bad idea, whether it's through a spell like Headless Horseman or Wild Imagination. Fear is going to make it a lot easier for you to stick harmful effects and reduce those turn meters, things like that against this Titan with a ton of tenacity. Some great taunts within the game: Sergeant Calhoun and her beacon, Jasmine, Maximus, again, Prince Eric's going to be the MVP here, Kristoff, Donald Duck, Maui, Gaston, and then maybe people like Hercules and Quasimodo. We're going to have to see if Protect acts the same way as Taunt, although I have a hard time assuming it won't. Now, I can already tell you that outside of Eric, I think Chunk is going to be pretty solid for the Rock Titan as well, providing both fear and then consistent taunting for his team, or having someone like Jack Skellington or Dr. Facilier assign taunt to keep the damage going on one character and preventing, all the craziness from happening. Now, some of my favorite spells for this guy is going to be things like Blue Fairy Magic, Shadow, Cauldron, the usual great raid favorites. And then again, in addition, having a fear-based team with Wild Imagination, Headless Horseman, or of course the almighty Golden Hammer is going to be pretty clutch when going against this guy. Now, the Tornado Wind Titan, he's going to be a little bit more difficult. We need to have a lot of summonable units out on the field, which you guys will start to see why Queen of Hearts is going to be kind of the master of the Tornado Titan. And or you're going to need ways to pump out Silence in a mass quantity, as well as Sleep and Polymorph. But as far as summonable characters go and characters that you can summon with, Jasmine and Raja, you've got Horn King and his Cauldron, obviously Gumbo Pots. You have Claude Frollo, Esmeralda, Yokai. You have Smee and Windy. Obviously, Davy Jones can do a great job as well. We'll have to see if shadows count for the Windy and for the Genie, as well as they don't count for Maurice, but they might count against the Titans, so we'll keep our eyes out on that. As well as, obviously, Kristoff and his Trolls. And lastly, Ursula and Maximus, who should both be solid as well. Now, again, like I was saying before, he's going to be having these twisters that he continually powers up and makes a whole lot harder. And so the best way to get rid of those, it looks like, is by inflicting silence. Now, Oogie Boogie can put out a mass silence and Queen of Hearts, making them both probably the most important for this section of the raid. Although all these Sorcerer Chosens, or, you know, SCs, we're going to call them for now on probably, are all pretty solid. You can go check out the video up in the top right hand corner above if you want to see my ranking of them and which ones you should be going after. But silence is going to be vital, and here are some of the characters that can inflict silence at a better rate than others. Davy Jones is going to have both summonable units and a silence. You have adjacent silences with Honey Lemon. Mulan can put out a single silence. You also have characters like Elsa, Steamboat Mickey, Jangles, Randall, Darkwing Duck. You have Genie, and then obviously the two MVPs in Oogie and Queen of Hearts. Now, in addition to silence, you can also sleep the twisters, and that will also insta-kill them. So obviously, like people like Sally and Merlin are going to be advantageous here. Now, looking at it, Davy Jones with his silence and summonable units, Ursula with a silence and her eels are going to be the ones you want to highlight and most likely bring in for the best success. Now, those same strategies are going to apply for the Ice Titan, as it's also going to have summonable units that you're going to have to shut down with silence and sleep. Except you don't have to have summoned units on your side. Instead, in that spot, you really want to ensure that you have cleansers, because his hyperthermia passive effect and some of the other things that he can pump out are going to really start to affect you massively if you don't have a way to cleanse and get rid of him. He's kind of the master of harmful effects out of this raid, and both him and the Lava Titan, again, are going to feel like glut. So some of the great cleansing and healing you can bring in for both the Ice Titan and then also the Lava Titan are going to be the following. So you have the King of the Raid and King Triton, Pocahontas providing both healing and cleansing. You have Cobra Bubbles with a single target cleanse. Merlin is the best cleanser in the game and probably the SC that you'll want here to go ahead and continually refresh your team. Keep in mind, guys, for a while before heroics, you can bring in the same characters over and over, as it's going to take a while for us to beat these Titans. Now, Genie, Yzma, Kronk, and Dr. Facilier also all can cleanse as well. Now, for the clutch AoE cleansers, you're going to have Goofy, Wally, Esmeralda, Fix-It Felix should be amazing. And then obviously Tiana and Baymax are going to be very clutch for the most part. Keep in mind, Rapunzel can also reverse everything that has happened. So I think the Princess Squad is going to be pretty solid here to take a lot of incoming damage and then just kind of wipe it away like nothing happened, like you see in PvP in this clip. Again, Cozy Club, it'll take some time for us to test and really figure out what are the best and most optimal teams, but all week we're going to be making Titan guides as well as providing some of the best teams that we have found so far going into each and every, raid in Titan. Now, for a while, guys, just kind of go in there with your club, do the best you can while trying to bring in some of these buffs and debuffs to give yourself the best chance to put up the best score. It's gonna take some time, though. This should take a while, and it should be very difficult. So with that, we're gonna continue to theorycraft, test, and analyze as much as possible. And very shortly, I'll be making kind of the top characters that you want to be bringing into most sections of the raid. Now, obviously, the SCs are going to be probably the most important because by glue, they were deemed the most important, but also they've got some insane raid kits like Frozone, for example, and already completely pretty much solo with ease the Forbidden Depths, which comment down below if you guys would like to see a video on that. Even though it's the other raid, still think it's pretty crazy. And so with that, we have gone through the essential basics of the new Siege on Olympus raid. Again, my friends, we're going to be going over the really heavy details and looking at graphics like this to give yourself the best chance to defeat the Titan and understand each and every one at a core value. We'll be pumping these out this week and, over the next course of time to really understand this raid and all of its potential. There is not a better time to be playing DSA, my friends, and I'm just excited for the months and weeks as we continue to test and get our hands on the Titans and really see all the graphics and stuff too. I'm just on the art side of things. I'm ready to see what these Titans look like. Guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as we're going to be pumping out raid videos like crazy, both for free to play and for everyone to understand their best chances. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today's video. If you want to see me go into the raid myself, I'm going to be doing that on my Twitch. Once again, you can find down in the description below. And until next time in the next Titan video, stay cozy, my friends.